Wait, Magic, how much do you know about OBS right quick?
I know enough to be dangerous.
Brings a shotgun to the fight. I swear to God.
We're all dead.
All right. Well, welcome to Call of Cthulhu Day, where we're going to be playing the module Dead Man's Stomp. This is the Chaosium tabletop role-playing game of mystery and horror set within the world of Cthulhu mythos. Our players take on the roles of investigators of the strange, arcane, and unknown. Regular people taking a stand despite the cost to body and soul against weird cults, bizarre magic, and otherworldly monsters. Only they can save humanity and the world from the terrors beyond. Just before we actually start this module, there is a little bit of a disclaimer that I've put together. This scenario is set in the 1920s, and for that era of time, this will include race and racism, potential sexism, potential gaslighting, and potential coarse language. As part of our session 0, myself and the players, we all had a discussion about what we felt comfortable with in terms of Hex's stream, as well as individually. If any of this does not sit with you, the viewer, please, now is the time to do what is most comfortable for yourself within the potential content. We totally understand that this isn't for everybody, and please remember, all of our players are playing a character from the 1920s, and their true thoughts and views and opinions are not of the individuals here. And now, with that out of the way, we start our story. It is the 1920s, more specifically, the year is 1927. We are set in the city of Harlem, bustling city, not as heavily dealing with a lot of the racism issues of that time, but they're still there. Now I'm going to roll to see who is going to start. D4. Roll. We are going to start with Ursula. We see a young woman sitting at a table, surrounded by cards. It is late at night, and you see Ursula grab some cards from a deck and put them into a formation. This is just something that you just felt that you wanted to do. And this is for no one else other than yourself. As you close your eyes to pick the cards, you feel a small breeze come through an open window. The lights flicker for a brief moment, and you can hear the electrical crackle. But you just put it down to the bad wiring of the building that you're in, something that you've been used to since you've been there. When you open your eyes, you turn over the first card. It is the Fool, indicating that there's going to be some immediate trouble for you. The second card you turn over is the Devil. The Devil card representing your shadow or darker side, and negative forces that can strain and hold you back from being the best version of yourself. The third card you turn over is the Tower. Expect the unexpected. Massive change, upheaval, destruction, and chaos. The fourth card you turn over is the Death card. Many people will see this card and fear it, but it doesn't always mean that death is coming. It could be a representation of an ending cycle, a symbolism of transition, maybe something spiritual. You don't know. The final card you turn over, it's one you've never seen before. And I'm hoping that everybody is going to see this pop up on your screen. You've never seen this card before. It's nothing that you've studied before. It's strange. It's weird. It's something unnerving about it. And the moment you look at it, you hear the record player behind you starting to turn on and playing a New Orleans jazz tune. And drawn to this music, and you don't know why. You feel that you just have to pack up and go. And then there's a quick flash in your eyes, just a quick vision, and all you see are the words Small's Paradise. And the moment you come to, you feel that breeze again, and your window shuts. And the scene fades to black. As we go to our next player. Jesse. You are sitting outside an office, wooden chair, to the left-hand side of a door. It's very busy. You're seeing people walking back and forward. It's a mixture of young people and older people. It looks like you're at a school, maybe university, but you know it's the university. It's about midday, and about an hour before your next class, you're unsure why you were called to the office. As far as you know, you have done nothing wrong. As far as you know, being here is perplexing at best. As the people are walking by, you're getting looks, a mix of disdain, smirks, disgust from a lot of the white folk. And you can only imagine what is being said underneath their breath. Of course, the very few minorities that are there, they kind of give you a supporting look as you go, as they walk by. Sort of, why are you in trouble? Is this something to do with your color? But not long after that, a door opens and sort of a middle-aged woman appears out, and she just simply says, "The professor will see you now." You're led into an office where there's a spare seat on the other side of a very big desk. Behind the desk sits an older gentleman. you know him as Professor Rice, one of your professors at the university. He simply says to you, "Thank you for coming in. I understand this is out of the ordinary for you. And what I'm about to ask of you may even be more so. But I need you to accompany me to Harlem in New Orleans. This will be a good opportunity for you to learn about the history of this place and help you with one of your big papers that is coming up. The reason why I'm picking you is you're one of my top students. And I just need a little bit of extra help with, a bit of note taking, an extra pair of eyes and ears. You see, I'm needing to meet a colleague whom I know from Cornell University about an unusual artifact that recently came into our possession. It is an important artifact, and if it is lost or falls into the wrong hands, who knows what will be unleashed on this world. Whatever time away from the university, from your studies, it will be recorded to make sure that this does not affect anything to do with your final marks, your final grades, anything like that. We leave in a couple of days, so pack accordingly. And you may need to bring something a little bit more formal with you. For where we're going, there is a bit of a dress code. He kind of looks at you for a response.
Well, Professor Rice, I will try to get ready as soon as I can. Thank you for the opportunity.
Very well. And with that, he sort of indicates that you can go off to your next class, and you exit the door as once again the camera to this scene fades to black. Let's find out who our next person is. All right, we've already had Ursula again and Jesse. All right. On a roll.
D2. It's a 2.
Okay. We are going to go to Alex. It is a late evening. We see an alleyway. Very, very faintly in the background, there's jazz music being played. We see a man, an African American man, holding a photograph, weeping. And he lifts up his other arm. In his hand is a bottle of liquor. Takes a very, very long, slow pull from the neck. Then brings his hand down and looks at the photo once again. At first, the man does not hear footsteps walking towards him. And then he notices and sees a second figure. A little bit stocky, a little bit bigger in build. He stops in front of him. And it appears that they're having a conversation that is struck between the two. The second figure then sort of reaches out and hands an item, to which the first man kind of is taken a little bit of aback, but the second figure nods reassuringly and then turns and walks back from where he came from. At this point, a back door opens up and we see a female figure. Head pops out, looking in the alleyway. Alex, you was sent out to find this first gentleman to come back inside the building because he's got a time slot to play. Is there anything you want to say to him?
Sir, can you please come back inside? You will be going on stage soon, and we need you.
And he kind of looks like, to you, he looks like he's just coming out of like a shock or a daze, and I'm sorry, ma'am. Yes, I'll be right in. I'll be right in. And he's clutching his instrument and this is from what you know is one that he's very, very well known for. And he sort of takes a last pull from his bottle and pops it in his jacket and sort of walks by you and stops to look at you for a moment and then kind of gives you a little bit of a smile, and there's sort of a different air of confidence about him as you wait for him to walk on forward as you close the door and walk back into the building. And this is where we see the door closing and the cameras fading out to once again appearing in an office where we see drinking a glass of whiskey, maybe rum, a bourbon, whatever your choice of poison is. Perry, you seem deep in thought, kind of reminiscing about your experiences about a year ago on Beacon Island. Something still bothers you about everything that you experienced there. Sometimes you think about whether this is real or whether it's just didn't happen. It was just something that you dreamt. But you hear a knock on your door, snapping you out of your gaze, nearly knocking over your glass. As the door opens, you see there a young woman. She's dressed very nicely. It's a red dress, nothing too over the top. It's formal. It's well presented. She's got a handbag with her. She just quietly asks, "Are you Mr. Perry Mason?"
Yes, just call me Perry. How can I help you, miss?
My name is Elizabeth Williams, and I'm hoping you might be able to help me locate my missing husband. Do you mind if I come in?
Yeah, sure. And I pointed to a seat on the opposite side of the desk.
And she walks in and she sits down at your desk and reaches into her handbag, her purse, and pulls out a sort of a small tin, opens it, takes out a cigarette, and lights it. You see, my husband, Frank, he's an accountant. And for the last 6 months or so, he's been working abroad in Harlem on a very lucrative deal. And while this probably doesn't sound too out of the ordinary for you, for me, it's a little bit worrying. You see, at least every week we speak on the phone. Sometimes there could be more calls during the week. However, the last 2 weeks, I have not heard anything from him. I've contacted the office number I was given him. I've contacted the hotel that he's staying at. No one has heard or seen from him since. And it's not like him just to up and leave. It's completely out of character for him. And she kind of, you can see she's visibly upset. She's just trying to keep her composure as she's speaking with you. And she would then once again reach into her handbag. You see, no one else I've asked around is willing to help. They kind of say it should be dealt with the local authorities, but even then, we're not getting anywhere, and I just want answers. And she slides over to you 2 items. One of them is a photograph of her husband. It's a black and white photo, of course. But he's very well dressed, short hair, kind of a bit of a mustache. And the second thing she slides over to you is a postcard, which I am going to show to you. Hopefully that shows.
It's I've got the postcard up.
Okay.
Drop
Cool.
in Small's Paradise. Is that the one you're
Yep,
speaking of?
that's the one. Yep. So exactly. You read that. It says, come to Harlem, visit the hottest of hotspots, Small's Paradise. Got the address. A red hot show in a cool place.
You were reading the postcard, and I think you told Adam that he needed to go, and Adam had said, I didn't get that. Adam had said either.
Yeah, so he agreed to go. With that, she stands up to leave, and just as she gets to the door to turn the doorknob, she turns back and says, there is one more piece of information, a name. Bonato. And I'll leave my number with someone out the front if you ever need to contact me.
Sure. Now, what does your husband do exactly? He's an accountant, right?
He's an accountant.
And he's doing the accounts for this place, or was he doing?
All I know is that he's working for a very lucrative contract. He couldn't really say who he was working for. He said it was confidential.
Ah, so you don't actually know the company that he was working for.
They gave me a number, and it was I think from memory it was called Little Jimmy. Such a strange name, but I don't know.
So your husband's working for Little Jimmy in New Orleans,
Working for this
in
company, that's
Harlem.
all I know.
Okay, I'll see what I can find out.
Yeah, he said most of it is very confidential. That the less that I knew, the better.
Yeah, I'm starting to get the feeling that it wasn't confidential; it was more illegal.
Well, if you can find anything out, it would be appreciated.
I will be in touch.
And with that, she'll close the door behind you and will say, "Good day, Mr. Mason," and closes the door and heads out.
I finish my drink and go, yep, this one's going to be fun.
And as Perry probably sits back down and picks up his glass, we see the cameras once again fade out. But what we didn't see was the alleyway. As the man walked out of the alleyway, he moves. He's walking slowly. And the shadow on his wall from the street lamps and the moonlight, it changes. Not from a stocky man, a well-built man, but someone a little bit more thinner. As Miss Elizabeth Wilson leaves the building, she turns down an alley. And once again, her slender female figure changes to a more... It's still a slender figure, but definitely not a female figure. And Ursula didn't see through the shadow and through the window something crawling down the window pane and the shadow expanding out as it continues and walks through the night. And these are all events that has led up over a course of a week or a couple of days. And we fast forward to where the story actually begins. You all, at one point or another, come to a building and you arrive on 135th Street, and 7th Avenue in Harlem. There's a lot of people standing out. It's probably about 7 p.m. in the evening. The street is starting to crowd with people lining up at the doors of a building. It looks a little bit out of the way. And all you see, so you just kind of see from where you're all standing, just a sign, Small's Paradise. And there's a cover band, no cover, dancing. And from the streets, from where you're lining all up, we find that there's a cab pulling up first. And out of the cab, the older gentleman and a young African American lady getting out of the taxi. Jesse, can you describe yourself to the viewers, please?
Jessie is only about 5'6", very petite. She's wearing plain clothes, even though she's told to dress more formal. But she's wearing the best, most pressed, neatest outfit that she can. She's got her hat on in a matching tan, and she's looking around like she's out of her element, definitely. Pretty much Jessie. Black hair, brown eyes, dark skin.
And as you get out of the taxi, you can see from the streets, everybody is dressed in tuxedos, ties, while the ladies are wearing their best evening dresses. And a professor speaks up and says, "Now, please remember, I'm here to meet a colleague about this heirloom artifact. I'm not sure why they asked to meet here, but here we are. I appreciate you dressing up for the occasion. This is one of these places where you need to look your best."
Well, I am wearing the best thing I could possibly have, sir. I've never been to one of these places. My mama would never allow me. So I'll just hang behind you if that's all right.
Whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever you feel comfortable with. And he sort of leads you into sort of the end of the queue, if you will. Obviously, you know, you two stick out like a sore thumb, obviously, for reasons where, you know, a white gentleman is getting out of a taxi with an African American female. So you're getting a whole lot of interesting looks. And as you stand in, Perry Mason, you're seen walking towards Small's Paradise. Can you please describe yourself to our viewers?
Perry is 6-foot gentleman, around 30 years old. He's wearing a black shirt, grey tie, grey jacket, grey pants. Kind of likes the shades of wearing stuff. Well-trimmed beard, somewhat athletic, but he doesn't work out. It's just a natural athletic look. And yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, he's got brown, and due to an incident at a lighthouse, he's got some grey starting to come through on his fringe.
Very good. So you're going on one of the leads that you were given with the postcard. So you get to the end of the queue, and you're standing in front of the older gentleman, and Miss Jessie, who you don't know, but you kind of see that there is a mix of excuse me, there is a mix of everybody here, all different race and creeds, which is, in your time being around and doing all your investigations, that some of these speakeasies, if you will, are generally dedicated to one particular clientele, and particularly African Americans, if there's the only way that they will get in if they're very high profile. But you're not seeing that here amongst the lineup. So that's one thing that you would very take note of. And the band is kind of tuning up. You kind of hear very, very faintly in the background just some jazz music. And it's at this point where a third person joins our story. Ursula, can you please describe yourself and what you are doing in the lead up to walking into this queue?
He is kind of tall. I'd say about 5'8", 5'9". She has short but wavy blonde hair. You will notice she has red on her lips, like red lipstick on. She is wearing like a very like high profile type dress, like evening gown type thing. You can tell that she comes from the higher end of life in this society.
Very good. And what, like, as you're walking up to the queue of people, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking at this point of time? Like, with everything that transpired in the lead up to you being here, what's Ursula's mindset?
Well, I see two people get out of the taxi, and naturally I'm curious. But I'm not so curious that I want to like run up to them like right as soon as they get out of the taxi. And so I kind of like stand back and just like monitor their actions, because it is weird for a couple who's mixed relations to be in a taxi, getting out of the taxi together, and I would not be used to that coming from New Orleans. So I just want to like watch their mannerisms for a second to see how they interact.
Yep. So as you walk to behind the queue, obviously you're going to be standing in front of Mr. Mason, who you don't know. So you see Mr. Mason standing there, but you kind of interesting sort of tilt your head to see what the other two are doing, and they're just having small talk. But Jesse, how are you sort of interacting?
I'll say if I see Miss Lavard and everybody else looking at us, I would get more, self-conscious. I might do one button as I pray to Jesus to help me. one button, just maybe loosen that, and then brush the hem of my skirt, and I'm gonna get out one of my history books while I'm in line, and I'm just gonna pretend that I am immersed in reading while we wait.
And finally, sort of behind you, Ursula, you hear the sounds of heels in quick succession moving on the pavement as we see Alexandria come racing around the corner, sort of a little bit out of breath, just trying to make sure that she gets to the end of the line on time, because she knows this building very well, and she knows that you get in early or you're going to be waiting a very long time. And she also knows that the main show starts at 8 p.m. For you, it is a rare night off. And for once, you are taking this opportunity to enjoy yourself as a patron of Small's Paradise. Can you please describe yourself to our viewers and what your thought processes are as you're racing to join the queue?
I am about 5'8", and I am got short dark hair that is, for once, not pinned back. It's nice and wavy, and I'm wearing this beautiful sequin dress with heels, and I'm excited to have a night off for once instead of constantly working. I am a little out of breath and trying to run to get here on time. And I see all of these people that are just they're getting more and more. So many people are arriving. It looks like it's going to be an extremely busy night, which of course does not surprise me. I am a little bit intrigued to see a mixed race woman. I am used to seeing quite a lot of mixed race people, but not women at this place. I work behind the bar, not that many people actually know that I am a woman, but yes, so seeing a mixed race woman here is a little different.
Very good. I've just unpaused the game, so you're free to move your own token, hopefully, if I set the permissions correctly. So for those who haven't used the foundry, you can use your arrow keys on the keyboard, or just grab your token, hold down the left mouse button and move it to where you want it to move it. So with everybody here, you all can start moving up as the queue starts moving, as you can see, people are entering the building. While it's very slow, you're making good pace and good progress to get in. When you get to about here, you can see that there's two gentlemen at the door. You assume that they are greeters, if you will. They're looking at everybody, making sure that everybody's appropriately dressed for Small's Paradise, and they're also asking for ticket entries, which all of you will have a ticket to get in. This would have been something you would have done earlier on in the day or earlier on in your visit to arriving. You're starting to be let in and you're being asked for tickets. Jesse, you feel a sort of a brush against your left shoulder as you when you look around, you don't quite see, but you see just out of the corner of your eye someone darting in between the five of you and the two doormen. From what you could briefly see, and everybody else everybody else here would also quickly see what is going on, that they're not as well dressed, so it looks like they're just trying to sneak in.
I'm looking at this guy that keeps bumping into the back of me, and I look at Perry, and I'm like, did you, did you just see that? The door. And I'm pointing to where these people were.
No, sorry, miss. I was off thinking about something else. It wasn't me that bumped into you by any chance. No.
I could have sworn my left shoulder. No, you. Maybe somebody was going past us or something.
So as you're all let in, you can move yourselves in here. As you all enter, you see two very, very well-built, muscular gentlemen of African American descent. Both have got this person between themselves, escorting them out of the building, and you can see that this is a young white man. He is not very well dressed at all, and you kind of sort of hear one of the bouncers, if you will, as they kind of close the door behind him. You kind of swear, "Don't let us catch you doing that again." Alex, you see someone that you know that you work with, a waitress by the name of Dorothy. She sort of waves at you, gathers, the 5 of you, because as you're being let in, you notice that you're being sort of let in crowd quantities, so like groups of 4, groups of 5. And she looks at all of you and goes, yes. My name's Dorothy, helping you out tonight with drinks, food, whatever you need. But if you'd like to come this way, I'll show you to your table. And she leads you out into the main hallway. But as you are leaving, the sort of, I suppose you would call it the reception, if you will, you can see to your back left there is a ladies' lounge, and to the right there's a gentleman's lounge. And as you walk through the door behind Dorothy, you enter in a very spacious ballroom. Each lounge is decorated with blue and white marble tiles. Sorry, mirrors abound, gleaming chrome faucets and fittings are illuminated by the lighting of the room. You see over here that there's a very opulent bar, which, Alex, you are very, very, very well acquainted with. And the faces of the bartenders are shadowed by lines and lines of bottles. Being that this is the 1920s, you know this is prohibition, so the selling of alcohol is very illegal. So this is, you know, one of the very, very few speakeasies around town that, you know, that are very, very exclusive for a certain clientele. But for Jesse and for particularly for Perry, it confirms that as long as you're dressed appropriately and you can afford the coin to get in, anybody can enter Small's Paradise. Alex, you also know that being here, this is a place where if anything bad happens, the two sides of the coin, the law and the criminal underground, will take care of business, if you will. What are you guys doing at this point as you're being shown to your table?
So the professor has a table for us. We don't feel like Jesse would want to look at the bar if curiosity, but she would probably follow where she's supposed to, and she's probably enamored with the band on the stage. And the man that just like beeline straight for the bar over there that was bumping her.
As I go past, I say, "Excuse me, miss." Go up to the bar and ask for a bourbon on the rocks. And then it's like looking at my notes, looking at the photo, and then going through the crowd, trying to see if I can see if the gentleman I'm looking for is actually here.
I lean into and I lean in and give Dorothy a peck on the kiss. And hi, Dorothy, darling, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. It's gonna be a big night tonight. It's oh, you're so lucky you got the night off. I think this is going to be one of our big nights here.
I cannot believe how many people are here. It's I don't think I've ever seen it this busy. Would I be able to get a cola just with a dash of whiskey, please, dear?
Yeah, sure. Let me get you all to your table and I'll take everybody's order. What about you, Ursula? What are you?
She's just kind of like looking around the place, like scanning everywhere. I think she's she's like searching to see if there's like any exits in case something happens, because she knows that this is illegal and she should not be here, but she has to be here to figure out what she's seen and why she was called to this place. But she is not comfortable at all being in this area. She's going to like lean into Dorothy a tiny bit and be like, "Can we just hurry up and sit down?" Like in a like passive, like, "Can we just like show me where the table is?" Just, don't even care about anything.
Yep. yeah. She's taken a little bit aback by that. Sort of looks you up and down and can sort of tell that you are from that high end of society. So it's kind of like, yes, ma'am. And as she leads you all across the ballroom floor, jazz music starts to fill the air. And you can turn and over here you see a very, very large stage where the band is seated. And for those who know their music, you hear the tune Dr. Jazz being played. Dorothy says, that's Charlie Johnson's Paradise Orchestra over there. Like I said, very, 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 very big night. And she leads you all over to past the bar and the tables. And you can see that there are tables sprawn all over the place. Just to hopefully give you an indication. Sort of gives you a little bit more of a sort of an idea of how crowded this actual place really can be. You can see that you're all placed on a table over here. There's enough seating for everybody, including Dr. Rice. But you also see another gentleman right here. He kind of unusual that he's already at a table before you, and he kind of he's looking down at a table, and he looks like he's reading something, and he's got a pen in his hand, and he's sort of like moving the pen across the page. Doesn't look like he's writing, but it's kind of like he's kind of like a ruler or something that he's indicating on that he's trying to read. Looks up and he kind of looks at you all, and there's a chair next to him which he pats to indicate that this seat is reserved. And rather cause a scene, Dorothy just seats everybody accordingly. Is just for my knowledge, is that where or you want to sit, like where you've placed your tokens? This is how you're sitting around the table.
I feel like, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Dorothy will then look towards you all and can I take your order for drinks or food?
What's good? What's the house special? Like, what is this place known for? Their dish? Because whatever it is, I'll have that.
So we're allowed to drink here? I'm just saying at the table.
Yes.
Yes, you're allowed to drink here.
Well,
I'm gonna.
No, you're not allowed to drink. This is tea.
I'm gonna splurge and be a little daring, and I'll have an orange juice. And that's all.
I lean over to Dorothy and whisper to her, add a splash of gin to that, will you?
I just roll my eyes at them because I'm like, what are we doing here? It's like what she's thinking. She just rolls her eyes. She wants to just get to the point.
Yeah, actually, suggestion: special southern fried chicken, corn fritters, and sweet potato.
Oh, I'll have that.
Virginia ham with sweet potato. Fried chicken liver, bacon, and spaghetti. Tenderloin steak, fresh mushroom and casserole. A fresh lobster salad, corn fritters with maple syrup, or waffles with syrup. So those are the ones that she would say that they're the main ones that get ordered.
Darling, Dorothy, darling, sweetheart, I would love some of those that southern fried chicken and the corn fritters and whatever else there was, but also a side of waffles.
Ursula would pipe up and be like, "Can you make me a waffle and then put a piece of fried chicken on top of the waffle?" And then she just like kind of like fluffs her hair a little bit and just like goes back to like, I don't want to be here.
I give Ursula the side eye like, geez, one of you.
You know who made the best fried chicken is my mama back home. She would put just some southern gravy on the top. Oh, so good. Oh, I'm sorry. My name's Jessie Williams.
Gravy on southern fried chicken?
Oh, so good.
Don't knock it
Really?
until you tried it. Oh, you have no idea. Gravy is gravy. Yeah, I'll have the steak with the mushrooms. And can I get actually a side of biscuits and gravy, please? And a top up of this.
Dorothy takes down everybody's orders and everyone's particulars with the extra sides and the chicken for the waffles. And she turns around and heads off to the kitchen area.
While she's walking away, Ursula would be like, "Ma'am, excuse me, like, did you say you had potatoes?" And like,
You're that girl. Just gonna be looking at the band. She loves that band.
You also see, if you look up, there's electric chandeliers which are casting hues of blue and gold onto the faces of many pale-faced, portly men and bleached hair of the bejeweled, ambitious young women. Mixed with the jazz is a buzz of conversations that help to assist to fill the room. The gentleman at your table, he appears to be of average build. His eyebrows are so bushy that they appear to form a single black furry line. Compared to the rest of the crowd, his demeanor is very prim and tense. You kind of can tell just from initial looks, he kind of looks nervous. He's unease. And this is where I'm going to get you all to have your first official roll of the night. For those who want to roll a psychology roll. So for our viewers, all of our players will be rolling D100s. On their character sheet, they have set skills. Each skill will have a percentage number, and they have to either roll that exact number or below to succeed. If they roll above it, they fail their roll. So, Perry, you have rolled an extreme success. which is pretty damn amazing. Alex, you have rolled a regular success, and Ursula and Jesse, probably psychology may not be your strong suit, but you do have options if you so wish. You can choose to re-roll your roll if you choose so. You would have to explain what it is that you are trying to do to achieve that re-roll. Now, if you fail, the results could be a little bit more drastic than just standing with a just going with the failure as is. The other option that you do have on your character sheet, you have something called luck, and that luck has a number, and you can spend as many luck points as you like to succeed that roll. But that means that if you spend the luck, so for example, if you have 50 luck and you spend 5 points to succeed on the roll, your new luck total will go from 50 to 45, and that's what you'll have to meet if there's any luck rolls involved.
I think I'm gonna just take my L on this one and take the 79.
I'm gonna show how it works to try to prove. I'm gonna try to plead for a reroll by saying that Jesse knows that Professor Rice and her are here to look for a relic, and even though the jazz is amazing and the smell of the chicken would be very enticing, I think that I would be putting down my book, like leaning down, and getting a look at everyone to see if anybody is like to just look at him and see if he's a bit suspicious. Does that work?
No, that's good. No,
Okay.
happy with that.
Okay. Please don't fail. Oh! 5.
All right, that is also an extreme success. So for those that don't know, an extreme success is where you roll 1/5 of your regular number. So in this example, Jesse has a psychology of 50, and 1/5 of that is 10. So if she rolled a 10 or below, she gets an extreme success. So yeah, Ursula, you're kind of, as you were saying earlier, it's kind of like, let's just get to the point. I don't really want to be here, but I have to be here. So you kind of not really sort of caring. You're kind of more interested in possibly seeing more interested in the who's who, like who is actually here, who of importance would be here. But for everybody else, yeah, Jesse, you're as you're probably more closer, you see this quite clearly. Perry, you in your line of work would easily recognize this side, and same with you, Alex. Probably working behind the bar, you kind of get the feel for people, but you can see that on the man's brow is a small, very, very, very small, but sheen of sweat on his face.
Is the room like warm? Like, could that be the reason? What, like, does like he could be perspiring because the room is warm, or he is of a larger nature, or is it like he is actually worried about something?
with your extreme success, you would know it's, even if the room was warm, you know from just his initial sort of, looking down and kind of the way he was doing things with his book, he appeared nervous, and the sweat on his face kind of would marry up or match with someone that is nervous or is worried that that is something is going to happen.
You know, some people of the bookish nature, like myself, they just don't like crowds and confined spaces. Mister, sir, do you feel maybe uh that's the case? I'm feeling a little what's that word? Claustra something's in here. None of you
Do
feel
you
that
mean
way?
claustrophobic?
Yeah, maybe, possibly.
It can get like that here sometimes.
But you see it if he says anything.
Yeah, so he kind of he looks up and he looks at all of you, kind of not expecting anyone to actually talk to him. He just kind of plays it off that that it's a little bit warm in here, and he's all right, but with both your extreme success, Perry and Jesse, he's not telling you the truth, but you're also going to get the feeling that he's not going to share what's going on either.
I will just give the people at the table the side eye, like see if they see what I'm seeing, and probably Perry would notice because he sees it too, I guess so. But Jesse wouldn't know who's seen it or not.
Well, I'd actually introduce myself to said man across the table, and just inquire what type of work he's in.
He, before you speak, he was going to put his head back down to his book, and for a brief moment, he kind of has a quick look around, goes to put his head down to look at his book, and then you ask a question, and he kind of, in a way, he kind of replies in a way that is sort of annoying him, and he just says, "My name's Manusco. I just balance books." And he kind of has another quick look and puts his head back down into his book. At which time Dorothy comes back with everybody's drinks and just places them to everyone that ordered.
And I go, "Oh, you balance books, Mr. Manuso. Is he the same as this photo that I've been given?" He's not. He
No.
doesn't. No. And it's like, maybe you know this gentleman, and I show him the photo and say, I'm actually being employed by his wife to find him because he's been missing for the past 2 weeks now, 3 weeks now. And since you're a gentleman of numbers and the community of accountants is pretty small, especially in Harlem, I would assume you might know him.
He kind of nonchalantly looks up at the photo, I'll get you to roll either psychology or spot hidden. With that hard success, you swear that there's a kind of a twitch in his eye of recognition, but again, he plays it down. He kind of he doesn't even respond to you. He just sort of looks at the photo. You see the twitch in his eye, and then he kind of puts his head back down.
Tough crowd. Okay.
You're all kind of getting the impression he kind of just wants to be left alone.
I look over at, I think it's Alex was the one that works here as well, and it's like, have you seen this gentleman? You seen, being that you work here, and I heard that it's your first night off, and I understand you don't really want to work on a night off, but just have you seen this gentleman? He's an accountant, apparently.
I take the photo off Perry and sit there and look at it. He does look somewhat very vaguely familiar, but I don't think I've seen him here. As for a matter of fact, I don't actually know if I've seen him at all, but there is something about his face. And I just, I'm sorry, but I don't know where,
Yeah, he does seem to have one of those faces that a lot of people go, yeah, he looks familiar, but I don't know where from.
Yeah, look, I would say, Alex, that it is a face that you have seen in the bar, but obviously in your line of work, you wouldn't go around asking the names of the customers unless it happens to be brought up in some form of conversation. But yeah, there's a good chance you recognize that face of the photo. Yeah. The man known only as Minusco, very, very standoffish. Appears he doesn't want to speak to anyone, but who knows? Luck of the dice, and you might be able to persuade him to change his mind. But as the evening rolls on, the band finishes Dr. Jazz and moves into another song called Paradise Wobble. And during this time, Dorothy once again comes out with all your food and hands it out accordingly, and kind of looks at yours and just sort of asks, is there anything else?
This is perfect, Dorothy, sweetheart. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I don't have enough syrup, she says, kind of snarky.
Jessie chokes a little on her orange juice, like, I think this is off. But she keeps drinking it to be polite.
I give Dorothy a smile, like a nod, because I knew exactly what she did.
So she kind of she at first, at Ursula's request, kind of mentally rolls her eyes, but doesn't show the frustration of the request, and she just says, I'll be right back, ma'am. And then sort of at Jessie's comment, she kind of has a bit of a giggle to herself as she turns and goes to get some more syrup, which promptly returns, within a minute or two.
She kind of like scoffs a little bit and she was like, finally, I can eat. And then I can figure out why I'm even here. And then she like stabs the fork into the piece of chicken.
Jeez, love, it's already dead. Do you need to stab it any harder than that?
Well, my maid always taught me I need to check to see if it's fully cooked first.
Oh, you're one of those people. This will be interesting night.
Oh, they're playing the wobble. I love the wobble. I never knew that jazz was so good. My mama says it's of the devil. But my brother Lincoln, he loves it so much. And my other brother Clay, he just focuses all the time. We should dance. This juice is dead. So bad. Maybe. Starts clapping.
I chuckle to myself, knowing that she was going to end up very, very drunk.
I think
Yeah,
Ursula would like kind of like grin a tiny bit at that reaction, but not like, like with just like, like a little snicker, like,
the Paradise Wobble then turns into another song, which happens to be the New Orleans Swing, which, Ursula, that is the same tune that you heard back at your residence. And everybody is dancing around and everybody's having a good time. There's good conversations. The conversations are getting a little bit more rumbustious, and you can hear the stamping of feet on the dance floor. Everybody is having a good time at the moment, and it's getting a little bit closer to the 8 p.m. Time on the clock.
as soon as she hears the music start playing, she like kind of like her body visibly jerks for a second. Like I don't know if anyone at the table. I don't know if anyone notices that she jerks, but she jerks a little bit. It would be visible, like a visible jerk. Like, what is that?
I would like to roll to see if I saw that.
Ooh, me. What was it? Is it a spot hidden? What would that be? Would that be?
I'll say either spot hidden or psychology.
Well, they're both the same, so. For me. Oh! Hi! Did you get the orange juice too, darling? I didn't like it either. This is what I say when I see her jerk after she eats her.
Yeah, very easily everybody sees Ursula's reaction to the song as soon as the first few bars have been played. Like, she instantly recognized that song and instantly sort of it's like she quote unquote saw a ghost.
Are you okay? You seem quite shaken there.
No, I didn't have any orange juice because that's disgusting, and I'm okay. I thought someone just like bumped into me or something, and it startled me. That's all. And she just like kind of plays it off like, no, I'm okay.
I heard I Ursula off suspiciously, like, I don't know if I believe her.
Are you here to meet someone? I say to
I
her.
don't know if I'm here to meet someone in particular, but I do feel like I was called to be in this place at this time for a specific reason, but I'm not sure. And then she like goes back and takes another bite of her chicken.
She's just trying. She clutches her Bible like deep in her purse and like, oh, one of those.
At which point, Professor Rice leans over to you, Jesse, and says, I think my contact is here. I'm just going to go over, and he points in a direction where there's another table. I'm going to go over there for a while, and I'll call you over if I need anything. You just stay here and enjoy yourself.
Okay, all right.
And he stands up and he sort of grabs his little suitcase that he had with him, and just heads over to the other table. And as that is happening, I want everybody at the table to roll spot hidden for me, please.
69! Nope. That's a no. Keeper, I feel 69 should be a win. Sorry.
I agree.
Well, it's a win for some, I guess. Okay, Ursula. So, you've only just failed. So again, if you like, you don't have to. But just to help you with more of the Call of Cthulhu, you can choose to re-roll if you like, and the result could be not as good as if you just failed, or you could spend 2 luck points and turn that 27 into a 25 and succeed.
Okay, I think I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
When you-
So everybody succeeds, other than Jessie in her own way. You all see out of the side door here that you noticed earlier, Ursula. The door opens, and you see a African American gentleman walk out. He's thin. He's in a suit, and he's clearly carrying something in his arms. He looks around and blinks. He's line of sight is directed towards the stage area, but because the way the tables and the seating is, your table that you're all sitting at is sitting and blocking this pathway. He's kind of looking around to see the best way you can get to the stage. Ursula, you immediately recognize him. Not only that you are from New Orleans, and anyone that is actually from New Orleans will recognize this man, but this is the same guy that you were asked to usher in only maybe a week or two ago. You know him as Leroy Turner. He is a up-and-coming trumpet player who has recently fallen on hard times. And from where you were all sitting, you would know Minusko would have to stand up to let him through. And as Leroy slowly makes his way towards your table, he stops at Minusko and politely asks, I'm sorry, sir, but could you let me through?" And Minusko kind of looks up and sort of cocks his head to turn towards Leroy, and Leroy looks at him. "Look, I'm sorry, sir. I got lost backstage. Would you be so kind to let me by? I really apologize for asking." And Minusko snaps. "Find some other way, boy. I'll have you thrown out." And at this stage, Leroy sort of looks a little bit frustrated and a little bit surprised, but at the same time, he kind of accepts what he's being told and kind of already begins to start looking around for another potential way to get through to the stage area.
Now, my 69 was for Leroy, right?
Yes, that was you recognizing him coming through the door.
All right, so I didn't see him. So I'm just bopping along to the jazz. So, because, I'm going to say my back was to him. That's why I didn't see him. So I don't notice. And then Orange Juice is really good, though.
I will say now that where he is standing to where you're sitting, you can see him, and you would have heard what Minusko said in reply.
Darling, come on over here. I can move. Here, you can get behind me. Don't go on. She's feeling a little bit looser of tongue and a little bit more friendly. Shut up, Adam.
Minusko first looks at Leroy and then at you, Jesse, and sort of gives you that, kind of really, really look kind of thing. And sort of, that look is kind of like looking after one of your own kind of scenario. Perry, Alexia, and Ursula, you would have all seen this transpired and what Jesse has said in response. And Leroy graciously walks by, sort of scoots around, and he nods at you, Jesse, and thank you very much, ma'am. I really appreciate it. And as he gets to about here, can you all again roll spot hidden? If you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to have a look, please roll spot hidden. Okay.
You love the 70s, like, person.
So I would say, Ursula, I would say, I wouldn't spend luck on this because that's a lot of points to spend. You could choose to re-roll or just let it go.
I would like to spend 1 luck point, please.
Okay. Yep, you can. So Alex spends 1 point of luck. So change that on your sheet, please. Jesse, Perry, and Alex, with all regular successes, you see the item that that he's carrying. And it's a trumpet. However, for you in particular, Alex, this is nothing out of the you've seen him with the trumpet before, playing in the speakeasy, but you've never really gotten a good look at it. And for everybody that succeeded, you notice some very interesting things about this particular trumpet. One, do I actually have a picture of it, or was I? Actually, no, I don't. That's
I think it's
whoops.
the scripture, isn't it? Hmm? Or did they?
Yeah, no, there is one. I just
We'll put it in
one.
post.
The one, the trumpet has 4 valves, which is unusual because I mean, most of you all seen jazz bands and posters and record covers and stuff like that. You know, a trumpet only has 3 valves. So that's the first thing that's really interesting about it. The second one is that you've noticed that the trumpet is covered in what looks to be or appears to be a crackled silver finish. If at best, it kind of mimics wrapping like the bandages of a mummy. And that's even more unusual. So you know, you all just sit back and go, oh, what's going on here? That just doesn't seem to fit, you know. And he continued. Sorry.
I look at the trumpet and then look at my cola, which I know has whiskey in it. Look at the trumpet, look at the cola, and think that maybe they put more than just a splash of whiskey in a drink.
Ooh, that looks custom made. Oh, never seen anything like that. That's what I'm gonna say out loud to nobody.
He's saying that out loud.
Yeah, I'm just saying that out loud as he passes, and I see the trumpet just out loud, not really looking at anybody, just looking at the trumpet.
And he turns to you and he goes, "Oh, this is a very special trumpet. This was given to me by the Sashimo, Louis Armstrong himself."
The Louis Armstrong.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness! Did he sign it?
No, he just gave me the trumpet.
Lean to the person closest is probably Perry. Like, he's probably lying then.
Even though I didn't pass the spot check, would I be able to hear everything that's going on? Would I be made aware of the trumpet from this? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. As even though you may not initially have seen it, with Jessie going, you know, saying what she said, and you would have heard Leroy reply in time, you would have seen him like turn to Jesse, and you would now sort of see the trumpet itself, and you would
Okay.
also take note of the 4 valves and the crackled silverish finish of the trumpet. If anyone got a hard success or higher, there would have been one additional piece of information that I would have given out, but unfortunately your rolls didn't tell you that story.
I look at Perry and I'm like, my
I got a
mom,
hard success.
my mama says when it comes to celebrity autographs or it never happened. That's what she says to me.
Sorry, you did too. You both did actually. As he turns to face you, Jesse, the bowl of the trumpet, you see what you think are carvings or markings on the inside.
Maybe you did have an autograph, Leroy. You got that's beautiful. I point towards the flute. I don't remember what it's called of the horn. That part. Someone else chat will say.
And you kind of hear from the very, very faint, you kind of hear, I'm sorry, man, but I gotta go. And he
Nicolette.
quickly shuffles off towards the stage area and takes his spot next to a gentleman standing right here, where I'm pinging the map if you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
And as the New Orleans swing piece finishes, you know, everyone's clapping and cheering and whatnot, and the gentleman steps forward, and you remember Dorothy's pointing him out as Charlie Johnson. And he grabs the microphone standing on the edge of the stage and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, His Honor the Mayor is with us tonight. Mayor John F. Halen." And, you know, there's a few oohs and ahs and claps and that kind of recognition kind of thing. It's always a pleasure to have your esteemed company and patronage. In honor of your visit, we dedicate this next song to you. And he sort of points in the general direction where Ursula, you saw the velvet rope. And if anyone looks, you kind of sort of see a hand raise up a glass from the table over there. This is our new song. It is called Dead Man's Stomp. And the crowd claps and cheers as Leroy steps a bit forward. And the man on the mic steps back to his original place. You see him pick up a cornet. And Leroy's brown coat and pants is an absolute contrast with the white jackets of the band. He sort of takes a moment with his head sort of in a reverence bow, and then takes his trumpet and places the mouthpiece to his mouth. Standing in front of the band, there's a nod from Leroy to indicate that he's ready, and the band begins to play. At first, it's a very, very haunting sound. But as the song goes on, the rhythms are irresistible. The musicianship is top notch. And soon, most of the crowd is back to dancing enthusiastically on the dance floor. You're all enjoying the music as well. Particularly you, Jesse. You allowing your orange juice to take hold, and you know your feet are tapping. Leroy, like none of you have heard the skill of this trumpeter. It's like if Louis Armstrong was there himself playing the instrument. I'd like you all now to roll a spot hidden.
Ooh.
Okay.
Why can't I say all the 70s? I don't like this.
Those are not your friend at the moment. But that's all right. But it makes sense because your back is towards what is going to happen next. Watch as a figure starts walking sort of in the general direction of your table and takes a position up at the bar. Jesse and Perry, you are very, very quick. Jesse, you were quick to see it. You know, even you were distracted. I don't know, something just drew your attention to this figure walking through this crowded ballroom, and Perry, not long after, you see him as well. He doesn't seem to be doing anything out of the unusual. He just kind of goes up to the bar and just kind of sits down and
Say to Perry, maybe that man's who you're supposed to see. And I'm yelling over the crowd.
No, he doesn't look like the man that I'm looking for. Wow.
What?
Okay. This is not the man you are looking for.
this is not the man you were looking for. Manusco is not even paying attention, so he has absolutely no idea either. As the music heats up, the figure steps forward towards the table, and he slides his hand underneath his coat. Now, as he steps forward, you kind of notice that he's not dressed appropriately. And as he brings his hand out, he slowly pulls out a revolver almost as big as what he is. He's a very short-statured man. He stands right behind Manusco. And and without hesitation, at point blank range, he pulls the trigger squarely in the back of the head. Though the band is loud and the crowd is louder, only you guys at the moment have heard the noise. I need Perry, Alex, and Ursula to roll a sanity roll. You have failed. Ursula, you have passed with a hard success. Well done. Jesse, can you also roll sanity as well?
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Look at you. Extreme success.
She's used to seeing people get their heads shot off.
It must be all that
It's
alcohol.
the orange juice. I was like, the effects are amazing in here.
What you see is Ursula, Alex, and Perry, as you're somewhat sitting opposite Manusco, unfortunately, Ursula gets the vast majority of this, but you're all sprayed in blood. Ursula, unfortunately, you get a little bit of brain matter on you as well, as the hole in his head is just that big. It just goes because it's a point blank range. And there's like this big gaping hole in Manusco's head as he, just sort of sways a little bit and then hits the table. Perry, Ursula, and Jesse, you all lose 1 point of sanity. Alex, I need you to. I'll see if I can do this. I'll see if I can do this from here. No, actually, I need you to roll 1d6. Yep, you got it. 5. Okay. So you lose 5 sanity points. And on top of that, because you have lost that amount of sanity in one roll, you are subjected to... Where is it? You are subjected to a bout of madness.
It's Wentworth all over again.
So I'm gonna roll.
Please let her be afraid of alcohol.
Actually, no. First of all, roll intelligence for me. Okay. You have no idea what's going on. You've just witnessed this execution and you're just in complete and utter shock. But because you passed your intelligence test,
She failed it.
oh, she failed it. Yeah, well, that's what she wanted. She wanted to fail it. you're just really in shock of what is going on. Dumbfounded, you just stunned as a mullet. You can see you're covered in blood, Perry's covered in blood, Ursula's covered in blood with the brain matter. You see the hole in Manusco's head. And with that, our friend starts to walk away. He puts his hand back in his coat, puts his gun away, and starts walking away. Now, everybody at the table, as I said earlier, has heard the gunshot. It's only going to be a matter of time before everybody else catches on with what has just happened. So you guys have maybe 5 to 10 seconds to react.
I would drop my glass and probably scream. I would scream. If it's heard above all the people, probably not, but that's what Jesse would be doing.
Ursula would probably be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my, like, she would just like, what is this? Why is this on me? What is this? Like, and she would just like freak out, like, oh my god, this is disgusting, oh my god, like, that's all she can say.
And Perry would be, oh, my steak. Oh, no.
Alex is just sitting there staring at the table and Manusco being dead and just standing there staring there at everything, like in absolute shock and disbelief and horror, and not actually say anything.
Okay. Other than that, is anybody going to do anything? Or is that all you're doing?
I will stand up and look for. I'll just eyeball to see if I can see the professor to call him over, but I'll be standing there, backing away toward this wall. I'll be backed up against this wall.
Yeah, Ursula would jump up also and just like start like dusting herself off, like she's saying, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and just like, you know.
I would actually probably be going after this bloke and pulling out my revolver at the same time.
All right, so you're going to attempt to chase. All right. So, Jesse, you've backed up, you've screamed. Ursula, you stand up and you started cleaning yourself. And Alex, you're just still sitting there in complete and utter shock. All right, so here's what's going to happen. Jesse, your first reaction was to scream. As the gunman started walking away, Dorothy has already started walking over just to see if you guys needed anything else. You screamed, she's come over, and she's seen Manusco slumped over the table. She hasn't quite realized exactly what has happened. She then looks at you, Ursula, standing up, dusting yourself off. She sees the blood. She sees the blood on Alex. Then she looks again. She realizes what has happened, and she also screams. Perry, you've decided to stand up and attempt to pursue the gunman. I am going to call that there, where next session we will will go into the chase scene with Perry and Joey to see what happens. And everybody else that's left at the table will find out what happens with them. So we want to thank all you guys for hanging out with us, watching Dead Man's Stomp. Hope you've enjoyed part 1 of our story. I'd like to thank our investigators. And we look forward to seeing everybody back here for episode 2 of Dead Man's Stomp. I'm Magic the Gamer, the keeper of arcane lore. You all have a good one, and we'll see you next time.